What are the legal implications of using social media for unlicensed organization donations in the UAE?
So fundraising for charitable purposes is a heavily regulated area in UAE. So it is subject to several legislations issued either at the federal or local levels in different emirates. So for example, we have a federal law number 3 of 2021 in relation to collection of charitable funds. And we have also a local law in Dubai, law number 9 of 2015, on the same subject. In those legislations, we have several provisions on organizing the fundraising, who can do that, who cannot do that, what are the consequences, who are the regulatory authorities to supervise the process of fundraising. And this is generally the overall legislations governing this area. Who can do fundraising in UAE? As a starting point, individuals cannot raise funds for charity purposes. This is totally prohibited. Using any media channel, irrespective, whether it is a social media, whether it is a TV or a newspaper, should be subject to prior approval by the regulators in UAE. So doing that without approval, or if it is by individuals, is subject to fines or imprisonment. Usually by these all laws and regulations, there are consequences if anyone is doing that without prior approvals.
And how do you legalize charity work?
Yeah, so in different emirates, we have different departments responsible for these activities. For example, in Dubai, it is the Islamic Affairs and Charitable Activities Department responsible for, number one, licensing the charity organization, and number two, issuing approvals and accepting either a charity campaign or fundraising for any purposes. They have their own list of requirements, they have their own procedures to approve any fundraising in Dubai. And for that purpose, they would require information. For example, the purpose of the fundraising, who will be participating, what are channels to be used for the fundraising, for example.
Are there any restrictions for donations to causes abroad?
As you would expect, any UAE regulations would govern the activities inside UAE. So you will find that most of the provisions of those laws and regulations talking about activities of fundraising inside UAE. Any activities outside of UAE, it's very limited. I think the only reference we can find that sourcing any funds to organizations outside of UAE is subject to the rules and procedures of Ministry of Foreign Affairs. However, I think from a practical standpoint, it is the responsibility of the party donating to outside of UAE to ensure compliance. If it is an organization, it is subject to Ministry of Foreign Affairs rules because they are licensed in UAE and they are subject to UAE law. If it is individuals, then it is the self-responsibility. The individuals need to ensure that any funds paid to any organization outside of UAE, it is sent to a well-recognized, licensed, and generally acceptable organization or association that's doing legitimate work in the jurisdiction where it is located. The concern here is from ensure that those fund is not actually used for illegal activities, for example, money laundering or financing terrorism organizations.
Are individual privately collected funds legal?
So although we said that individuals might not be in a position to collect funds for charity purposes, but generally if it is within a closed family or very close friends, that might be generally acceptable because there is no actual calling for people or going out to encourage people to donate. It is a very close number of people discussing an issue to resolve or someone in need to assist. So if that is the case, generally it is fine. If it is not, for example, if someone you don't know came and asked for help, you'll not be able to assess whether that person's situation or position will allow you to donate or not, then you need to consult an organization, you need to involve a licensed entity to check the background of that person and be the buffer between you and that person to ensure compliance. For any questions in relation to fundraising in UAE, whether for charitable purposes or any other purposes generally, that question can be directed to Banking and Finance Department in Tamimi and Company.